You see, my problem is I love collecting and using journals. If you are a regular subscriber here to my Seaweed Kisses channel, you guys know that's nothing new, okay? I have a problem with journals and diaries, notebooks, but not only that, I also have this obsession with pens and stickers and holding on to washi tape and anything that enhances my journaling practice. As you can see, I also have a healthy supply of fountain pens and inks. That's for another story though. And then here are all of my pens, my ballpoint pens, my gel ink pens, so many pens that I just have a problem with. And as someone that enjoys crafting and creating art and pretty much finding every tool and resource to create with, I just have an abundant flow of craft supplies. Here are my washi tapes that's, I've collected throughout the years. Oh wow, it just goes on and on. I'm embarrassed to even admit how many pads of post-it notes I have as well. But you know what? The worst problem I have is junk. Specifically, paper junk. Just random trash bits. Now this problem, it's nothing new. It's something that I have been doing for, I think now looking back, probably most of my life. I remember even as a kid, I would save little candy wrappers. I would save birthday cards, pretty much even like magazines that, my parents were subscribed to. I would just clip out things from like the TV guide, just everything. I think it stemmed from childhood, but I am not embarrassed to say that this is not my only treasure. I call these my treasure chests because, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So this is only one of the few treasure chests that I have full of just random everyday ephemera. Now, I'm going to share with you what I intend to do with that because I realize this is a problem. I can't keep boxing up my problem, or maybe I can. But, out of sight, out of mind. And this is like years in the making. All of my boxes, I forget what I have and they're just holding up space. So I plan on starting a junk journal, but we'll get to that in a minute. Maybe I'll have timestamps down below on jumping ahead where I kind of chit chat with you and catch you up on why I've been kind of absent here on social media and not posting as much because that kind of plays into this video, what I'm about to share with you. So the junk exactly that I hoard and collect, anything and everything from junk mail, those mailers that you get that people usually throw away. Yeah, I enjoy thumbing through those and looking at little marketing phrases or color coordinations like go big or go hungry. I'm going to keep that. Timeshare, like I remember this was like some type of timeshare ad reserved for, and I could put my name on here, make your dream home a reality. Just certain words I can clip out and just add into my journal. And these are all free. That's the best part. They're free. They're already in color, so I don't have to, waste my color ink printing these out. And, they're different. The texture, I would say, like some of them are shiny, some of them are matte, some of them are just like flat paper. So I know this is not a good thing. Okay, this is from Kraft's Macaroni and Cheese. Why did I save this? And here's the thing about myself. I know myself so well. If it's in the box, there's a reason why I kept it. So sometimes I'll just look at a thing, a junk piece, and I'll wonder like, why did I save this scrap? And it's because I like how it says it's pure comfort inside and out. So I know that I, at the time, was meaning to cut this part out and apply it into my journal because my journal gives me comfort inside and out. And then just, things like this, the ice cream sandwich, little mailers, I hold on to this. And the reason why I collect these random paper bits is because, what is this? Oh, is because I know eventually my intention is to stick them in my journal. However, in the past, some, my regular subscribers, you guys know, would I say I found planner piece or journal piece? I think so. I enjoy using the Moleskine expanded journals, the one that are like 400 pages and they're blank. The problem is, because this notebook is already so thick with 400 pages, if I try to add any more like ephemera bits, you can only imagine how chunkier this would be, and it gets harder to write on. There are some pages though that I realize I did hold onto, like paper bits, like little right here. This is like a little mailer, this right here, and these are just like stickers that I held onto, the priority USPS, and also like this from tamales and tortillas. I held on to that from my purchase, and then cardstock paper that I thought was really pretty because it had this beautiful like metallic shine to it, and just paper that I painted on, or paint that I put on there. And then this spread, this spread right here, I remember I did this back during, when we were staying at home, and this was through a mailer, Beware of Misinformation, and I cut that out and I did this art spread where I collaged like some old napkins, or reusable recycled napkins, I would say, from a restaurant, and then just like leftover cardstock, and I just painted over that. But if I did every single page like that, then wow, my journal would be so thick. And because I have found what I would quote say my unicorn paper with the Moleskine journals, meaning that it works well with my fountain pen inks and dark gel inks, I don't want to just paste junk and trash on those pages, because now guess what, they're precious to me. And again, that notebook's already so thick, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, some other things that I like to hoard, and let me know if you're the same way, or if there's maybe specific type of junk or trash that you collect. I have a friend, she doesn't really collect junk, but she always keeps like fruit stickers, and she'll add that into her journal. I have another friend that enjoys collecting like tea packets, which I do have. So we all have our little quirk and our little interests. Travel tags, tamper safe. This was from like a DoorDash order. Kept that. This was from when I was sending out some orders. I liked the background here, and I held on to this because I knew I could use this pretty design to write on. And it's so funny because my family, like, they know me, like friends and family, they'll be like, oh, I held on to this for you, for your journal. Thank you. Yes, so considerate. You guys know my love language. Junk. Paper junk, paper ephemera. Again, their trash is my treasure. So I'm just showing you like random, paper bits here. This was, what was this? This came in, I can't remember where I got this paper bag. Maybe it was like a cookie or something that I got at a bakery, but I held on to it. And then I just used, when you go to the grocery store, that film, or no, I think this is from Amazon. Sorry. I have so much junk, I keep forgetting where things are from. But I think this was from Amazon, where it has like the warning, do not place the plastic, around children or over your head. It can cause suffocation. So I just cut that out and put that on this paper bag to reuse. And my plan was to tape it and then stick it somewhere so I can put in more stuff to use as a pocket. Some tag. Oh, see, I made a tag here. I want to keep that, but look at this random cardstock piece of paper. But I loved this hue, this like color of greenish gray. I held on to that because I figured, I could write a little note on here because it's matte and it could just add a little pop of color. So I'm telling you guys, is it weird? Yes, I think it's odd, right? But some of us in the community, you understand, like you get it. Why are we like this? I don't know. It's just so fun. I feel like it's just another way of exercising our creativity. And you can see this is paper bag, and then I just used scraps of washi when I was getting frustrated. You can see like some of the washi was not cooperating, so I had it on the edge of my table, and then at the end I didn't want to get rid of it and I didn't want to use it in my journal, so I just put it on the scrap of paper, and I can use this to write or journal on because now it's like a frame. So I held on to that. Just more, see, these are just the things that I hold on to. Cardstock. This, I do a lot of arts and crafts on the side that, you know, I don't share everything. I'm sure like a lot of you guys that maybe create content, whether it's on Instagram or here on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, you know, you can't show everything about every part of your life. And there are, you know, other crafts that I do enjoy, and there are pen pals that I have that, you know, aren't on social media, and we'll craft together and do like mail exchange and paper craft exchange. So I was doing some envelopes and all of this. Oh, and we'll like exchange like stationery goods and paper scraps, especially like with my international pen pals. It's so fun seeing stuff from, you know, like Germany and France and Japan, Australia. So it's so cool seeing what they have in their stationery stores, in their big box stores, and, you know, I'm sure they enjoy receiving all the junk that I have. So these are all cardstock that I was cutting, but I just love the design so much, or either the color, the pattern, and I've been holding on to it so that way I could use again to like staple in my journal or cut down and then send them out as like ephemera packs for my pen pals. But I've just been really busy lately and I just haven't had time, and that's what makes these little junk you know, treasure chests, as I call them, so helpful, because you can just dump it and forget it. And then when you are just maybe bored or you're feeling maybe stuck over the weekend, just going through this paper, it can spark, you know, inspiration or motivation. I know for me it does, because truth be told, that's where this video came from. I know I haven't been posting lately here on social media because I have been enjoying like junk journaling, so to speak, and that is not typically like the topic that I cover here on my YouTube channel, and that's why I haven't been sharing it, because I know a lot of you don't subscribe to see Michelle playing with trash and, you know, adding it into her journal. You guys are probably here for like handbag videos or fountain pen videos or Moleskine, you know, whatever you subscribe for. So, but again, I'll save that for the chat later on. This is just showing you maybe some ideas of what you can hold on to that you never considered, but you might now keep an eye out and add them into your own journal. From the post office, these are stamps, and when I finish, I sometimes save the sheet that it comes on, because it'll have like other stickers on the side. Let me see if I have an example to show you. There is I always save one stamp for myself just because they're so pretty. But to give you an idea, oh my gosh, this is my latest favorite, the Powwow sheet. This is so pretty. I have to use this. My Patreon members, they're gonna get that. Let me see. Okay, so right here, you see how it says Goodnight Moon? Well, this right here is not actually a stamp, but I will save this, but it's actually like a sticker. So I can peel this and I will add that into my journal. So if you keep an eye out, you don't need to buy stickers or, you know, more stationery goods. You can find things that will add a little pop and flair to your page without, you know, going out of your way, really. The priority mail. Oh, okay, here's another example. I had so many of these sheets, the Lunar New Year. This year with the snake, I think I ran out of the snake, but if you look, this on the edge, it has all of the animals, and I can actually use that as a sticker. So I've used these to put on Happy Mail. And That's why I save every little thing. So many things, so little time. So that's what I have here. This is supposed to look like a pin. It's actually this right here, where they look like little pins on the back, and I thought that was so cute. So stamps, and then, or if you do like snail mail, you can actually, and that's what I do too. I save. Let me show you another. Technically, this isn't junk. I would not say this is junk, because this is like thought out, curated ephemera and letters that friends send me. But the stamps right here, I keep these stamps, and again, when I have time, I will cut these out. This one's from the Netherlands. Yeah, see how pretty? Oh, I love this tea. But I will cut this out and then add that into my journal. Well, that's my intention, to cut it out and then put it in there. So if you are located internationally and you're looking for some stamps, I would love, to exchange stamps. Maybe I can send you a postcard. We can exchange postcards. So yeah, let me know. I'd love to. You can email me, seaweedkisses@gmail.com, or if you're on Instagram, when I have a moment, I'll check that. So, because I know a lot of people in this digital age, analog writing and receiving mail is kind of, dying. And but I know people still love receiving mail and exchanging, happiness. So I totally get it. These, oh my gosh, look at this. These oranges weren't all that, but I loved the packaging. I just, for this summer, the zesty orange has really caught my eye. I'm really gravitating towards orange, and I just had to keep this along with the net. So what I'll probably do, I was thinking of maybe scanning this and using it as a cover for a notebook or a journal, but I can actually, or like right here where it says Vintage Sweets, I thought that was perfect. I could use this somehow as a label for my journal. But you see how my mind works? I find the potential in the trash. I see the good in people. I can fix them. I can fix this warped thing and make it beautiful. Tissue paper that I get, and more tissue paper. And I think, let's see. Oh, speaking of pen pal, this beautiful paper is from a pen pal too. I think, was this from India? I can't remember. But I loved how this looked, and I just needed a special place to put it. And why, things like this. Those little gel packets, those beads that come in, it keeps the moisture out of stuff. I got this, I think, in Korea, because it's in Korean, and I kept that. I'll staple it. Some string, my Disneyland ticket. This is already a couple, I think it was from 2024. So yeah, last year. I need to use that. And I liked how this piece of clothing, it said attention, and I loved how it had the star on the exclamation. So yeah, I don't think you would be interested in seeing all of the junk, but this is just to give you an idea of what I collect. And oh my gosh, look at this though. This bubble mailer, these are actually little hearts. I don't know if you can tell. They're small little purple hearts. Can you see? I've never seen that before, so I had to keep this. And then, yeah, the bubble mailer. I love this beautiful pink. More tissue paper. Oh, speaking of junk, okay, so I really like this tissue that I came across. I think maybe at TJ Maxx or Home Goods. I love this gold floral design, and then this paper that I came across. So what I did was I just ripped it up and I created this little design. This I got from Happy Mail as well, these little sparkle bits, and I just created this spread that I want to put in a page, in a dedicated page, but I turned this into a postcard for my pen pals and my Patreon members. So yeah, all made from scraps of paper. You could see where this is like an old piece of paper, and I just like recycle, reuse, and I just use some trash. And if you can see right here, this tape, it's not actually washi, it's tape that I received on my like bubble mail. And for my regular subscribers, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's that tape that you see on a lot of my Moleskine journals too. I just love this tape because again, it's like free. And or like on packaging, they use like that dark yellow tape. I save that because I don't have a roll of it, but I never needed to because it always came in my mail. And then why did I see some things? I'm like, why did I save this? I don't know why I saved that. Oh, I know why I saved this. See this open here. Don't worry, this is clean. But I like how it says open here, because then I can put it on my journal and then open here. I was actually inspired to do something similar with in my zines, my DIY magazines as I call them. I did that in my junk journal version. You can see right here, if you look closely, I scanned where it says open here, and that is pointing because when you open it, that's, you know, like the page to your journal. So yeah, I just find, oh, this is that yellow tape I was talking about. I use this to create my own like little junk journal box, and a stamp here. This is, do you guys know? You guys know. Trader Joe's, the Trader Joe's man. And then this handle with care actually came on a package. So I just love using trash to create art. And again, I feel like it just like stretches your imagination. It's kind of like an exercise to me. It forces me to think outside of the box, and it also surprisingly it inspires me to create something or create more outside of my comfort zone. The Mother's Day advertisement, I say these obviously for the flowers. These could be beautiful decor or frame edges in the journal spread. And speaking of more junk spreads, see, this is, I feel like this would be a perfect size for like composition notebooks versus my Moleskines, because, or actually this is kind of too big, but this was wrapping paper that came like in a box package, and I kept that, and I cut out these paper stars from a grocery bag or maybe from an Amazon recycle mailer. You could tell this is from a junk mail envelope, and then more of that yellow tape. And then this again was like some type of protected packaging again. But I love the texture. Thought that was so unique, and I added that. And then I scanned this and used it as a journal spread so I could write, you know, over that. So I created kind of like my own journal, my own journal sheets or collage sheets. But I do want to keep that like that main copy in a journal, so I'm going to add it in the junk in the what's it, composition. Okay. Oh, speaking of pen pals, okay, then foreign pen pals. This was from one of my Instagram friends, and oh my gosh, I kept this because these are just like goods, you know, treats that we don't have. And her little Serbian package was so delightful, and I kept these wrappers after, of course, I ate the goodies. And I kept these because my intention is to glue these all into a book. That's just like nice memory keeping. Another pen pal, Rob. Hi, Rob, if you're watching. He sent some tea because he knows I love tea, especially Earl Grey tea. And oh my goodness, this from Japan, delicious. One of my new favorite tea bags, I would say, or even just Earl Grey flavor. And look how cute is the packaging with that little cat. Look at this cute little bag. So I might have to look on maybe eBay to see if I can buy this again, because I'm out. Like, they're gone. They're so good, so delicious. And these are just the things that I hold on to because, you know, I don't have access to something like this. And I would, you know, Peter Pan, my favorite peanut butter. I think it's the most delicious one. And I kept it for obviously Peter Pan. Cut that out, and I want to add that. More cardstock. Oh, here it is. Little tea packets. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I just hold on to every single thing, because I see the potential. This, you guys know, this is from like the Amazon mailer, pull to open, and I like that. This was from my local cafe. I thought this was so cute how they use this, and of course I held on to that. And then this good things happen here. This came on a box. Oh, there's that napkin I was talking about. It's a beautiful napkin. And mind you, this is only box one. This is only one treasure chest. I have multiple ones. The Sephora open for major beauty savings. I saved this probably because I either liked the purple and I could cover this like that and then put my own like writing in the middle, or open for, and then I can create my own writing. More bubble mailer. Oh, I like this tag here, 404. I keep these too. Sometimes like when you get things that have the tags, I keep them because it has like this extra string, and I can use this to hang beads or charms. You know, you can add them, you know, as ribbons to your notebooks or your journals. So I think that's pretty much it for now. Oh, this is a cool business card that someone gave me. She's a hairstylist, but you know, I don't live in the state that she does it, but I complimented her hair. She's like, oh, here's my card. Oh my gosh, I loved her haircut. It was kind of like this. And I was like, oh, I want that kind of like punk rock look. I love this hairstyle. And this ribbon, this was during like the holiday season, but how pretty is this? The pine cones. Pretty. And yeah, so my intention, okay, here's where we get to the chatty part. My intention is to slowly work my way through all of this junk and apply them into a journal, so that way it's like in a book form. It's in a book form, and I can flip through it and just have like, you know, fond memories of it and be like, oh yeah, that's from my pen pal, or oh, that was beautiful packaging. And I love the color coordination. The reason though is, hold on, let me grab my drink here. I forgot my tea. I remember I had some tea here. I'm giving you guys the tea. I do have my Earl Grey with some cream and lavender. The reason why I haven't been posting as much is because I don't feel like I have anything new to offer that would be inspiring. And what I mean by that is I am so content with what I'm using right now. My fountain pens, you know, they're really the same. I haven't acquired anything new or anything dazzling. I still enjoy the ones I'm always talking about, my Pilot pens, the Hongdian N12, this is the Kakuno, and you know, the TWSBI Ecos. Like, I just kind of like the three main pens, the Pilots, the Hongdians, and you know, some of the Asvines. Like, nothing has really changed. The inks that I have been using are pretty much the same. If you've seen my last video, I'm using kind of like the same colors. The Salamander, it's really just mainly Diamine inks. Desert Burst, Salamander, Diamine Gray. I'm really into a gray phase right now, so I have this Kakuno in gray. So I didn't really feel like there was much to say or expand on that. I haven't done like a beautiful, massive, inspiring like ink haul. And oh, I do enjoy the Pilot Prera. Yeah, so basically just the same pens that you've seen. In terms of my notebooks, my journals, they're the same. I enjoy my Moleskine Expanded. I'm still loving my Hobonichi Weeks. So if you've seen my video where I talk about my 2025 lineup, I'll link it down below if you care to see that. Nothing has changed. I still use my scratch pad. I still enjoy my Moleskine Expanded for long form journaling. I use my Hobonichi Weeks as like an on the go planner, but also like a micro journal. And what I mean by micro journal is that this journal it wasn't intended to be a journal. It was actually intended to be a fitness tracker, but it morphed and took on this micro journal because I just fell in love with it so much, you guys, which will lead me to the next topic, talking about low expectations creates higher outcome or performance, for me at least. So I gotta remember. Yeah, I'll remember that in a minute. The Hobonichi weeks, I still enjoy this. And speaking of scraps and junk, I was out at, what's it called, Jimmy John's? I think so, yeah. Their bag had this. I cut that out. I cut the little bag out and I put this in here. Oh, and this is some mail I got. I tore this part out. But I put this here so that way I don't forget that when I start my new junk journal, don't forget I have to put this in my journal or put it in my little treasure box. So now that I'm actually here with the treasure box, I will throw that in there. The nice thing about having my little treasure chest too is that for me, there's no pressure to create on the spot. It's kind of like a deposit box for me. It's like, okay, I'm depositing a piece of art that I'm going to use later on, and it can just collect and accumulate, and then when I'm ready to revisit that, I can come back to it. Whereas certain, like within a journal, if you miss a day or if you miss a week, it's like staring at you, right? It's like, why didn't you journal today? And you're like, but when you're using like a blank page, there's no pressure. And that's how I feel with junk journaling. I can turn to a blank page and kind of hop in and create whenever or whatever I want. But the Hobonichi weeks, yeah, I've just been using it the same way. I will link that video down below where I show you, how I use it. Nothing has really changed. I still color code, the red is important. Like, it's just like a mini planner / micro memory keeper. And I've really been enjoying the Hobonichi weeks because some days when I'm just exhausted and I don't feel like journaling, what's nice is that I can just jot down within the week. Hold on, I'll show you. Like, that's not already done. Okay, like within the week, it has the day here, and I can just write, got ice cream, watched a show, and I still feel like I captured the memory. It's like my little mini memory keeper. That's why I call it a micro journal, because there's no pressure to have this long drawn out dear diary today, like it's just a little snippet of my day, and it's been really easy to keep track and to log events that have happened. But other than that, I don't use it in any other different way, and nothing really has changed. That's why I haven't posted much about my journals, because there's nothing new to say. But another thing I have realized, and this kind of inspired today's video, so I want to know your opinion. I got my box out because I am going to start a new junk journal. I call it a junk journal because it's primarily going to be a collection of everyday ephemera and junk. It's not really going to be dedicated to long form writing or like, deep thoughts. It's just having fun, creative fun. And this isn't new. I've always done this. I just don't always share that because going back to earlier, what I was saying, for my subscribers, you guys did not subscribe for junk journal. You subscribe for whatever reason. Traveler's Notebook, which I don't really share that much anymore. But again, pens or handbags or moleskins or Hobonichi. And I just did not feel like, not that anyone cared, but I just didn't feel like this would be entertaining to show you how I use, let me grab my glue stick here. How I get my glue stick and sort through all of my junk and how I'm going to like paste it in my journal. It's like, I don't know, would it be like watching paint dry on the wall? But the thing is, I know some people enjoy that. They enjoy seeing like journal with me's, right? and they enjoy kind of like this junk journal style. But again, I feel like for the majority of my audience here, that's not what you guys subscribed for. So that's why I've been kind of not posting, because I've been enjoying this in the background. I've been enjoying, creating paper crafts and things that I normally don't talk about, because that's not what you guys are here for, I'm assuming. So yeah, that's why. And thank you to all that have messaged me and asked, if everything is okay. Yes, everything is fine. I, truly appreciate the concern and for the, outpour of support. And I feel guilty. I really do, because I've received numerous messages saying, you guys are looking forward to my next video. When's the next video? Is everything okay? That this is kind of like your cozy comfort channel. And I, with the summer, everyone's out of school or people are on vacation. So I've just been enjoying time with friends, family, travels, planning, entertaining people, and friends and family. So I just haven't had time to have a quiet afternoon to hang out. And another thing is, I know a lot of you enjoy chatty videos too, like lengthy, more than like 10 or 15 minutes. A lot of you guys really like the longer videos, like 30 minutes to an hour. And you know what? I can see why now. I was going through kind of like a little slump a few weeks ago. I don't want to say it's depression. I don't think it's that serious, but I caught myself and I realized that my behavior was kind of a little different. And I really think it's this medication that I'm on. I think it's maybe affecting my mood, but I realized that I lost motivation to do things that I normally would want to do. And I also noticed that my interests have shifted. So that's where micro journaling really came in handy, because some days when I just felt out of it, or sad, I could just write, document that. And that's another reason why I don't post often as well, like maybe these other journalers, because I don't do proper flip throughs and I don't have anything to offer you in terms of a beautiful, inspiring flip through, because my pages are really personal. I have people's names in there. I have personal, deep, maybe even disturbing thoughts. I have, just family matters, just things that I wouldn't want anyone to be triggered by, or I wouldn't want someone to use against me, or to be maybe offended by. And I'm sure you can understand, a journal, for most people, it's really personal. And for me, it's like a very intimate practice, especially like my deep, deep journals, like my little, scrapbook, like that's different. My little junk journal, that's different. But again, the Hobonichi Weeks was not intended to be kind of like deeper than what it is. It just kind of turned out that way. And I'm definitely going to get another Mega Weeks next year, because this journal caught me by surprise. I did not expect to connect and to use it consistently. Or in the 6th month, I actually started in November, so I've been using it for 7-8 months, and yeah, I enjoy it so much. But going back to low expectations, I had low expectations for this Hobonichi. And the paper quality, Hobonichi is the brand, by the way, if you're not familiar. Hobonichi is a Japanese brand, and this particular design is the weeks. It has your month at a glance, your weeks, and it has like blank pages on the back here, which you can just use. I'll show you, let's see. Here's a little bit of me junk journaling right here. like this. But it's been fun because, again, I did not put pressure on myself. It was just meant to log and track my macros, my supplements, my vitamins, my meal plans, and then somehow I just got attached to it and it became my little mini best friend. And that's why I have the Charlie Brown and the Snoopy, because I feel like this. I feel like I'm clinging to this companion that turned out to be like a loyal companion for me at this time when I had no expectations of this at all. Kind of like my Moleskine Expanded, though those unicorn finds, the paper quality, I had low expectations. When I create, or in the past, you guys are familiar with this, I had, low to no expectations. I did not even know that these like this paper was like crappy paper, because I was not using fountain pens at the time. I was just using ballpoint pens, and I guess ignorance is bliss. But at that time, the more I kind of showed it on social media and little snippets here and there, people would tell me, they would bring it to my attention like, oh, I love how you use your Moleskine, but I could never. The paper is just crap. And I'm like, huh? The paper is paper. But it wasn't until I got fountain pens I understood what they meant by that. But you could see, if you look closely, like I really just used ballpoint. So, ballpoint was fine for me. But I had low expectations. Again, like I did not put pressure on myself of how this was going to turn out. I just created. I just wrote. I just, added things in here and just splashed on paint whenever I felt the need to do it. And it just kind of shifted, and it developed, and it just came together like naturally and organically. So all that to say, I'm kind of excited to do that here with my junk journal. And if you are interested in more videos of my junk journal, let me know. But if you're not, let me know as well. I will not be offended. I totally get it and understand, like respectfully, again, because I know you may be subscribed for something else. Like you don't want to see junk journal. You don't want to see basic, like just everyday stuff. You came here for whatever reason. So let me know either way. I will not be offended, and I will not take it as hate. If anything, I will just maybe keep it exclusive to my Patreon members, because, I will still be crafting and creating there, or I don't even have to share, to be honest. I won't care either way. It's really just for, I think, you guys as a community, because I always say this, with my Moleskine videos, you will not find a journal with me from these journals in the past. And if you go on my Instagram, I rarely shared them on my feed. Maybe in my stories here and there, but on my feed, I rarely shared these because it was just kind of like a personal, intimate process. And I got so many pages done because the pressure to perform was non-existent. So therefore, I performed, and I excelled. Like I just had so much fun because there was no one criticizing me, criticizing my handwriting, the way it looked. Speaking of my handwriting, goodness, I mean, like, look how sloppy this is right here. Like, yeah, no one criticizing my handwriting, no one saying that, why are you using that notebook? It's crap. Your art looks like a kid did it. My kid could do better than you, right? Like there was none of that. So a lot of you guys are inspired by this, but it was because it was done in private. And that's what I will be working on here, long story short. So if you don't see any uploads from me here on YouTube, it's really because I'm junk journaling. I haven't been consuming more, I guess, to share. I've really been content. Knock on wood. Okay, I've really been content. Like I said, still using the Hobonichi Weeks, still in my Moleskine Expanded, still, using my ballpoint, my big ballpoint pens, my Zebra Sarasa gel pens, my Pilot fountain pens, and using the same basic staple colors, except for Diamine Gray. That is a new recent ink, but I didn't feel like that needed a whole dedicated video. It's just Diamine Gray is what I'm using. And the composition notebook that I am using is from Staples. I will link that video again below where I shared notebooks that are under $5. I know some of you subscribers are kind of like looking at me like, I thought you didn't like composition notebooks, Michelle, because of that pink margin line and the blue lines, and I thought you liked blank. Yeah, I do. So this goes against everything that I prefer. However, you guys, this was 50 cents. 50 cents. Back to school clearance is here, and normally this composition notebook I think is like $1.99, which I still think is pretty good. Like I'm not complaining. $2 for how many? 100 sheets, so you get 200 pages. Like I'm not complaining, because this composition notebook is actually pretty good quality. It's one of the better ones, I'll tell you that. It's better than the ones that you get at Target. It's better than the ones that you get at Walmart. Like, this is probably, the best ones though, composition design, I would say, are from CVS or Walgreens. And but I got these 50 cents at Staples, and low pressure. So going back to no expectations, because this is 50 cents, aka practically free in my book. Okay, 50 cents. Like, I don't even think anything costs 50 cents nowadays. Because to me, this is definitely not a high risk, low investment, not a high risk. I know myself, and I will use this to the fullest. Like, I will not be afraid to just slap on some glue and put in, some junk, or, to maybe create like some creative art collage pieces. Or even if it looks like crap, I don't care. I won't care, because at least I feel like I'm using up all of this ephemera that's just sitting in a box, and I'm going to see it as, I'm going to put a little spin, a creative spin, and I'm going to see it as, it's just a book form. It's a book collection of just all of my favorite ephemera that I've collected and created, or curated, I would say. More like collected, in the last year. So when I flip through this, I could see, this tag was, tied in with travels. When I look at this, it's weird, because whenever I see a piece of trash, I remember where it's from. I just have, like, my memory is weird. Like, I don't think I have really good memory, but I'm one of those people where, like, my desk and my office can be like in total chaos, but I'm like an organized mess. My family could be like, where are the scissors? And I'm like, it's under that stack of paper to your left, right under that blue sheet. And they're like, oh yeah, like, I remember. Like, it may look messy and chaotic, but it's just weird how our minds think, right? Like, we can't remember our grocery list. I can't remember. I have to look at my grocery list like 10,000 times. Like, what did I need? Oh yeah, some lettuce and tofu. But I can remember where something was, like 6 months ago. Like, oh yeah, I got this from my cafe, or I got this from, this mailer here. It's just so interesting and funny. But that is what I'll be using. Now, the composition notebook, in that last video where it was titled Notebooks Under $5, I said I like the Staples version, the one made in India. They have one that's made in Sri Lanka, but I find that paper is it's like a little thinner, but the majority of the stack, at least at my location, was made in India. And I raved about that because I shared that the blue lines were darker for my preference. Like, it wasn't so bright, and the margin of this pink, it wasn't too pink. It's kind of like a mauve color. However, when I went back to my Staples to stock up on more, because 50 cents, I'm going to grab a couple more. This one, I don't know if my camera's picking it up, but it's the same one. It's made in India, and this paper is like bleach white, where this has like a little bit of a blue hue, but this bleach white is like, something with like the sensory overload. I have this thing where, like, if paper is too white, it feels too, like, it hurts my eyes. It reminds me of like a doctor's office or at a hospital. It reminds me of school. Certain teachers had like that certain bulb, that luminescent bulb, where it's like so bright, it felt like you were in a laboratory. But that's what this paper always reminds me of, and I could never connect with it. And that's why I'm able to connect the dots now and see why I found journal piece with the Moleskines, because of their kind of, I'm trying to show you, kind of like I don't know if you could tell the difference. See how it's like cream? I know cream's not everyone's like cup of tea, but I like this cream tone because it's very relaxing and it's very like soothing to me. I don't know, it just feels like warm and soothing. So I would love to junk journal in my Moleskine notebooks, and I know they make the 192 page, but again, it's going to, I don't want to just tip in junk for a notebook that I spent, $10, $15, $20 on, especially if the paper quality is really good. It's like I'm wasting the paper, the potential of that paper. But for these, again, only 50 cents, again, there is low risk for me here, because low risk, low investment. Did I say high risk earlier? Yeah, low risk, low investment. But as you can see, I hope you can see this paper, it's brighter. And the blue line, I'm trying to hold it up to my window. It's brighter. And the pink's not so bad, but I don't really like this baby blue. This blue is like baby blue, and this is more like a dark blue. Luckily, out of the stack, I literally, I was at my Staples and I went through the whole stack, because I thought the one made in India, they were all going to be like this, but with my luck, the things I love don't always continue on. They discontinue somehow. So there was only four that had this type of, shade. So I just got the 4. $2. I'm going to cover this. I don't like the timetables on the composition notebook, so I'm going to cover this. But anyway, that's for another, well, I was going to say that's for another video, maybe, if you guys are interested. Or, maybe even if you guys don't care for updates on composition notebooks or junk journaling, I probably wouldn't mind sharing when it's final. But then again, I don't know when it's going to be final. Maybe I can share progress throughout the months. But see, that's the thing. Like, you guys are probably going to have to wait some time in between. So we'll see. Things could change. Another thing I want to catch you guys up on, I was planning on going to a pen convention this year, or like the stationery convention. I think they're called like pen shows, yeah. So I had an opportunity to go to the Atlanta one, but something came up, so that fell through. I was this close to going to the DC show, but again, something came up, and good thing I never bought tickets in advance, because my intuition was telling me like, hold on, don't jump ahead. So I always waited. Excuse me. And the pen show in July is not going to happen, unfortunately. So there's still the one in San Francisco that's happening at the end of August. And that one is a fun one. I hear a lot of people enjoying and liking. But, okay, here's the but. I was having this, and this is actually like a journal entry I wrote to myself to self-reflect. I was thinking, okay, what do I hope to get out of attending a pen show? At this time, I'm not craving a new pen. I don't have like a pen that I'm itching to get. Well, okay, I do have one, but that can kind of wait. And I was thinking like, okay, for that one pen, the price of me flying out there, getting a hotel, and I'm not going to just buy that one pen. I'm probably going to buy stickers and stationery stuff from other vendors. It's going to cost me probably a couple $1,000, whereas that fountain pen would be, a lot less than that. If I really wanted to go after this Grail pen that I have in mind. It's not really a Grail pen, but it's just one that I wouldn't mind having in my collection, but my life wouldn't, be detrimental without it. So I really had to think and consider, what is it that I'm trying to get out of it? And I know with these pen shows, people like it because you're looking for special makers, or you're looking to get your nib grinded down or whatever. And a lot, to be honest, a lot of the vendors, they have websites that you can access their stuff. So it's not like if you attend the pen show, you're getting like a massive discount. It's going to be the same stuff that they sell on their website that you can get any time of the day. But I'm sure like the experience is priceless, right? Going there, being physically, in this energy, and also surrounded by other like-minded, passionate stationery enthusiasts like ourselves, that's great. And a lot of friends, I'm sure that meet up. So I thought that maybe that was something I could consider doing. But I am so content with my pens right now. I don't that excitement is kind of quickly dwindling. And I was going to ask, for those that have been, is it worth it? But of course, I know you're going to say it's worth it, because even if I went, I know I would still find it worth it. I think it's more of just being financially responsible. that's my excuse. I need to be financially responsible because there's an international trip that I may be taking. That I may be taking later on in the next month or two. And Philippines. I have a friend in the Philippines I'm going to be visiting. But Malaysia, because Malaysia's right there. And I told one of my pen pals that I may be visiting the Philippines. And she was like, oh, well, she was kind of joking, but she's like, oh, like Malaysia's kind of like right there since you are flying all the way over from the West Coast, like you're flying, 13, 14, 15 hours. That would be so cool if you ever make it to Malaysia, let me know. And then I started like doing all this research about like Malaysia because I've never been. And the only place in Asia I've ever been is just South Korea. So I was like, oh my goodness, I think I would really love going to Malaysia. Of course, visiting my friend in the Philippines, but with my time off from work, that's another thing too that I have been busy planning and doing like a deep dive. Like I've been obsessed with planning this trip, looking at like the best hotels, the best area in Kuala Lumpur, and the food. Oh my goodness, that food looks amazing. I love Indian food too. Like I love all types of cuisine, but the more spice or the spicier, like the better. And yeah, all that food looks so good. I'm not really big into pork either, so being that the food, a lot of it's going to be like halal, like I don't know, I just never had Malaysian food either. And yeah, so that's another thing I've been kind of doing on the back end, just researching restaurants I want to try, hotels, and how long, like how would I split up my trip. And then it got me down the rabbit hole thinking like, should I get back into my traveler's notebook? Should I maybe I could share some videos with you guys on setting up my travel journal. But now I'm rambling, but I know a lot of you guys don't mind the rambling because you guys like these longer videos, right? Speaking of longer videos, hold on. So many thoughts with my ADHD mind. Speaking of longer videos, that's another reason why I considered maybe sharing more of my junk journals, because these little crafty sessions that I do on my own, they do take some time. So I know I usually craft for about like 20 minutes, and I can just sit down and chat and just show you like what I'm doing or how something came together, or you can just use it as background white noise if you wanted. So that's why I considered maybe posting more junk journal videos, because they are going to be lengthier and we can just like chat. Maybe I could do Q&A while I'm doing my junk journal. So maybe there's something to consider. But so back to the travel journal. I was thinking about using my travel journals, but I just don't like that narrow size. And some of you may have noticed I don't use the Travelers Company notebook anymore, because those two sizes, I think I've just outgrown those sizes. Like when I first started it, I loved it. Like I love the Passport, I love the regular, but then truly, you guys, I think I have kind of found like my sweet spot. I noticed that I like pocket size, and I do like B6 Slim too. Yeah, I like pocket, B6 Slim, and A5 Slim. And I like pocket because it's technically A6 Slim. So I just like all the slim sizes: A6 Slim, B6 Slim, A5 Slim. I like pocket size. And Travelers Company, they only make Passport, and then they make their standard, which is an awkward size for me. For me personally, it's not as comfortable. Like it has a lot more room, but it just feels like an oversized Hobonichi Weeks. It's too rectangular for me, and it's too big and bulky. Okay. What I was saying is it's too big and bulky for how I know I would set it up, because I know that I would, stuff it and add all these different like accessories, and then so that's why I don't post any more Travelers Company stuff like a lot of you guys have wanted, because I don't use it. And I could come on here, and pretend I use them for content or for likes or for views, but I don't want to confuse you guys. Like I don't want to show Travelers Company content and then I'm like, but I love my Moleskine and I use my Moleskine, and you're like, okay, so why are you showing Travelers Company? Like I thought you loved that. So that's why, if you notice, I haven't shared the Travelers Company like setup or me using it, because I don't use it. I really don't use it. I love and appreciate, like the system, and I really do like the leather. But also, another confession, ever since I have been making my own, I've just been enjoying other leathers and other sizes much better. I can make my own Travelers company, or not company, I'm sorry, Travelers notebook leather system that can fit an A5 Slim, or that can fit a pocket size. And that's what I've been doing. I've been making my own covers. And now I think with Travelers notebook, the concept being so popular, there's more makers, but there's also like more access to leathers that you can make your own, which wasn't available like back then, like 10 years ago, when I became obsessed with the system. So now that there are different leathers, different types of leather, you don't even have to use leather, you can use other material. That's where that's at. So I bring that up because when I go on my trips and my travels, I still want a dedicated journal. And I do like the idea of a travel journal. A Travelers like leather bound. So if you're interested, I may show you how I'm going to make my own. But if you don't care because it's a DIY and it's not like a brand that you can easily buy yourself, let me know too, like if you don't care for DIYs, because again, I know not everyone is here for like the crafty DIY stuff. I see some comments saying like, oh, I wish you would show stuff that was like more accessible. Like I can't find that in my country, or I can't have access to this and that, or whatever. So I don't want to, because I get it. I understand that there is more of a communal feeling when you can receive and use something that is accessible. But now I'm just thinking out loud and I'm rambling. Yeah, so in my head, I already know I have a project where I'm working on my own DIY Travelers. Like, it's really like a leather wrap notebook coming up for my international trips. And that's another reason why I'm kind of holding off on maybe pen shows this year, because that's money I could save for my international trip. And I'm curious to see how stationery is, what stationery is available over there in the Philippines, where I'm going to be at, and in Malaysia. And yeah, they always have like the good stuff. I feel like here in the States, a lot of our nice stationery is actually imported from other countries, from Taiwan, from Korea, from Japan, from Europe. Yeah. I think that's all I had to catch you guys up on. I know it's been a while. I'm trying to think if there's anything I overlooked. I'm sorry I don't have any flip throughs to share with you, because again, as you can imagine, I've been going through a lot of personal things, not to be like concerned about, but just, life events, just stressed out about the world, and just things that are going on, and then just, with work and personal and family, that I can't flip through and show you, and I don't have the energy to go through and blur and, cut stuff out. So it's just easy for me to just not show you, because again, like, my motivation is already kind of low. I think it's due to this medication, to be honest. Maybe it's the heat. I really think it could be the heat. I'll put it on that, because I'm usually like a spunky, energetic, happy person. And I noticed like within the last month, my energy level has just been like drained. Could be my hormones. Maybe I'll look into adjusting like my diet. I haven't been working out as much, again, because I've been busy with other things, and it's kind of prevented me from being on my regular schedule. So yeah. But I know a lot of you look forward to my videos, and going back to earlier, again, going back to like kind of like cozy comfort content, I never understood why someone would say that they love like my particular longer videos. Other longer videos I don't mind, but like me, because I know I talk a lot, I know I ramble, and there's just so much in my mind, like so much I have to say. But I finally understood what that meant or how that felt, because when I was going through my slump last month, I didn't want to do anything, just the bare minimum, like what I had to do. And I turned to YouTube. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I don't really watch movies. I've been playing my Nintendo, my Switch. I've been turning to like cozy comfort games like Mario Odyssey and Kirby Dreamland. And my newest obsession right now is, why can't I remember the name? I just got it a week ago. The Fantasy Life, the girl that time travels. I think it's Fantasy Life, the girl that time travels. Oh my gosh, that game is so perfect. If you're looking for a good time, but you want something a little bit more challenging than like Animal Crossing. I never really could get into Animal Crossing. It seemed kind of boring to me. But this is like a perfect combination of like Animal Crossing and like Zelda, which I love, like Zelda, like RPG games. And I love like world, like expansion kind of games. And that time traveling video or game is so fun, because you do a little bit of like Animal Crossing stuff where you collect items and you get tasks, but then you fight creatures and you level up, and you your like hit power and your magic power, like it expands, and then you can get like buddies to help you fight the creatures. You guys, it's just so fun. Trust me, it's fun. It's a good time. It's a good vibe, and I've been really enjoying that. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent now. Back to cozy comfort videos. Now I understand what that means, because there were certain people that I found on YouTube. No one in particular, just random videos, like people talking about like book reviews or book hauls, gardening videos, even travel videos. I found when I was looking up Malaysia and in Kuala Lumpur, like I found some vloggers. They would have longer vlogs, like 25, 35, 40 minutes. And I just enjoyed listening to that longer video. Instead of having to click out and into a new video every 10 minutes, it just played, And people talking about books, I realized I like more like longer videos. I can skip through, but I just prefer the one video to hop in and I can skim through, versus watching it for 10 minutes and then hopping into the next one for 10 minutes and then hopping into the next one for 10 minutes. And so I get it now. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Let me know how you've been lately, some interests that maybe some hobbies that you've been interested in, or some journaling supplies. That's another thing too. I haven't really been doing, any shopping or any hauls or really anything, nothing really too exciting that's worthy of, again, like a standalone video. So watch. The moment I turn off this video, I'm going to remember something. I guess that's it. Yeah. So all that to say, let me know, would you care for videos? Or maybe if you're curious to see the progress, but you don't want long form videos, I could do shorts, because that just requires like a couple seconds. Maybe on TikTok, or maybe here like on Reels. I could just do a daily short. That's easy. But I know a lot of my subscribers, you guys are probably like me and you prefer long form content. And you're not really into shorts. You're not really into Reels. That's me. That's why I'm not on Instagram, because Instagram now is all about like Reels, which is fine. But me, I don't think I'm that entertaining to create Reels. So I just post on my stories. But wow, okay, this video is over an hour. Okay, I gotta go, and I'll talk to you guys later. But let me know your thoughts just in general.